Donald Trump will become the first president in U.S. history to be convicted of a criminal offense and take over the White House. Trump denied the accusation, and on January 10, Trump was discharged unconditionally. You remember the story of July 13 last year, but during a campaign rally, Donald Trump was tried to be removed from the world in front of everyone. Despite all this, Donald Trump sat in front of us in the White House for the second time as the President of the United States during his election campaign, but he made many promises that he may have started to implement from the day he took office. In one way or another, trade or business, immigration or speech, and the environment or environment, all these three areas are expected to have a very important impact on Donald Trump's hopes. Let's start by talking about trade or business. First of all, the Republicans follow a policy in terms of economy and think that the name of a company, the name of another company, the name of a company, the name of a company, the name of a company in my own country, the name of a company, the name of a company outside my country, that is, a foreign company. I can do a very important thing. I can impose different duties on the foreign company that I am in B, which is a direct competitor of this company. I can say B company C, if you want to sell your product in my country you will have to pay 5 rupees to my government or government, but in the case of this company there is no such condition that when B company comes to my country and tries to sell its product, the selling price of this product, but it has to be kept more than that. My country's policy is allowing my country's company to move up. This policy is called the protectionist policy that Republicans follow a lot, and Donald Trump is a Republican. Trump will also reduce the tax, which is being said that the tax cut will not only cut the tax in the corporate sector, but at the individual level, that is, the tax on every person. Trump will also cut this tax, but the effect of Trump's imposition of this tariff will be felt all over the world. Even America's largest trade partner Canada, Mexico, or China will not get rid of Trump. It has made it very clear that after he comes to power, tariffs on products coming from China will be increased up to 60%, whereas in 2024, the growth of Chinese products in the USA has gone up to 14%. According to the Roll and Berger consulting firm, these policies will have an impact on the economy of the European Union by 2029, $533 billion, the United States will have an impact of $749 billion and China will have an impact of $827 billion. If you think that the products have stopped coming from the companies like these domestic companies, they have less competition, then what they will do is they will increase the price of their products, which means that the people of the US inside the US could have bought the same product when there were other foreign companies. Because of the competition, they could have bought it at a lower price. According to Jamie Thompson, head of microeconomics forecasting at London-based Oxford Economics, if the US implements these tariffs in a strict way, the global economy will shrink by 0.75% by the end of this decade and global trade will shrink by 3%. Especially the Chinese market, which is a very big competitor of Bangladesh in the Chinese market garment sector, will definitely have less impact on Bangladesh than they can understand. Next, let's talk about the US address or the discussion of immigration, in this case, about an interview with Trump on December 8 at Meet the Press, where at the very beginning of the interview, when he was asked what Trump was thinking of doing in the first 100 days of his presidency, he immediately talked about the border or border.
According to the Pew Research Center, by 2022, the number of such unauthorized immigrant workers in America has increased to 8.3 million or 83 lakh, and the number of such unauthorized population in America is about 11 million or more than 10,000 people. All these benefits like cards may be slowly or may be difficult during Trump's time, the effect of which may be starting to read a little bit from now on, but there is a but here that unauthorized immigrant workers are working inside the US, but they provide cheap labor. You do not have to pay more to do a job with them, so if you throw them out of the USA, it can affect the entire US economy, according to the Peterson Institute for International Economics. You can say that inflation will go out by 2% and the inflation in the US will be very bad for the whole world, even worse for Bangladesh because then the value of the dollar against the Bangladesh rupee will go down further and so on. It is a kind of citizenship, but it is happening that you are a citizen by birth. There is this system in America, you are born at any point within America, you are a citizen of America or a citizen by the 14th Amendment to the Constitution of the United States, that is what it says about this birthright citizenship. Trump is going to be a very big weapon for Trump to change it and to implement all these presidential executive orders. This is one of the powers of the President of the United States, that he can bypass the Congress and make himself different. Can decide about this power that Trump can now use a lot. I hope, and I don't need to say it, but to make such a very epic changing decision, Trump must be able to do it very easily. It's not a matter of whether there are more complications in it and how long it will take. It can't be said exactly. Drilling location. When Joe Biden was banning oil drilling in the 625 million acres of water to protect the coastal area of the United States, Trump was saying this as a reaction because Trump's main purpose is to make money doing business and not worry about what happens to the environment. Trump has said that he will pull out of the Paris Climate Agreement once he comes back, but he was already working on it during Trump's previous term, but after Biden came back, he is re-entering the agreement.
Although things will be a little difficult, on the one hand, one of the most important climate conferences in the world, COP29.2024, was held in Baku, Azerbaijan. The whole world is thinking about how to deal with the bad effects of climate change and how to keep the environment beautiful. The bad effects of climate change can be tackled whether it is research in these places or other funding that is trying to stop major funding. Now, if the United States is not in these financing, what other countries will do is also a matter of concern. On the one hand, it is Ukraine versus Russia, on the other hand, it is Israel-Palestine. Although Ukraine's President Zelensky is hitting Trump with a lot of oil, so that the USA gives them aid, military support or diplomatic support, but Trump is already saying that he will end this war, and hopefully this year will be a reflection of that. I have made a completely different video about what the situation of war or conflict in the world can actually be. If you want, you can see that many changes can be seen in international organizations due to the arrival of Trump, like the USA is already, but in many places it has reduced funding in NATO. Maybe Trump is forcing other member states to increase their funding in the military, so they can reduce funding in developing countries like us. When it comes to international organizations, don't just give priority to your own country, give priority to your own selfish behavior for the benefit of your country. But countries like India or Bangladesh, which fall under the Indo-Pacific strategy of the United States, will be very important to Trump as always, because Donald Trump is very serious about the Indo-Pacific strategy. We can see the reflection of the plans from day one or number one. Thank you very much to everyone to watch the video. If you like this kind of content, you can subscribe and never forget to press the bell icon next to it.